Ever watched It's a Wonderful Life and felt that the ending was just a little too perfect? What if I told you that the heartwarming conclusion we all know and love might be hiding a much darker, more tragic reality? Let's dive into a theory that completely flips this Christmas classic on its head. What if George Bailey never actually came back from that bridge? What if the entire happy ending is a loop, a fantasy created by his dying mind? Now, before you say I'm ruining Christmas, hear me out. This isn't just a random dark theory, it's a fascinating look at the film's structure and psychology. Let's revisit that critical moment on the bridge. George Bailey, at the absolute end of his rope, wishes he'd never been born. An angel named Clarence appears and grants his wish. George then witnesses a bleak, horrifying reality without him, a world called Pottersville, where everything is worse because he never existed. But here's where the theory takes a sharp turn. The traditional interpretation is that this experience makes George appreciate his life. He rushes back to the bridge, begs to live again, and poof, everything is wonderful. But what if that's not what happened? What if, when George jumped into that freezing river, he actually died? The shock of the icy water, the emotional turmoil, it's entirely plausible that his heart gave out. So, if George is gone, what is all the rest? The theory suggests that everything from the moment he's saved from the river is a fabrication. It's his brain's final, desperate attempt to create a perfect reality as he passes away. Think about it. This is a common phenomenon reported in near-death experiences, where the brain floods with chemicals, creating vivid, often euphoric hallucinations. It's a protective mechanism, a way to shield the mind from the trauma of its own end. In this version of the story, Clarence the angel isn't a real celestial being. He's a manifestation of George's own subconscious. He's the part of George that still holds on to hope, the part that needs to believe his life had meaning. Clarence is the guide through George's own life review, but it's a review that needs a happy ending. Clarence shows him the worst-case scenario, Pottersville, to justify the beautiful fantasy that his dying mind is about to construct. Let's look at the evidence within the film. When George returns to reality, everything is miraculously resolved in a way that feels almost too good to be true. Suddenly, his forgetful Uncle Billy, who lost the $8,000, finds it. No, wait, that's not what happens. The money is still gone, but it doesn't matter anymore. Why? Because the entire town, people George helped and people he barely knew, all show up at his house with baskets of cash. The outpouring of support is overwhelming. His war hero brother, Harry, flies in through a blizzard just to toast him as the richest man in town. Even the grumpy bank examiner, who was just about to have George arrested, is seen chipping in money and singing carols. And Mr. Potter, the villain of the entire story, he faces no consequences. The warrant for George's arrest just magically disappears. It's a perfect, neat little bow on a life of struggle and sacrifice. It's exactly the ending a man like George Bailey, who always put others first, would dream of. This is the core of the theory. The ending isn't reality. It's George's personal heaven. It's the ultimate validation he craved his entire life. He gets to see his beautiful family, his loving wife Mary, and all his children. He gets confirmation that his sacrifices weren't in vain, that his small-town life had a profound impact. He finally becomes the richest man in town. Not in terms of money, but in love and friendship, the very thing he felt he had lost. And what about Clarence? At the very end, a bell on the Christmas tree rings, and his daughter Zuzu says, "Look, Daddy." Teacher says, "Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings." This line, in the context of the theory, is heartbreaking. It's not Clarence getting his wings in heaven. It's George's subconscious, the Clarence part of his mind, finally finding peace as his life fades away. The bell isn't a signal of an angel's promotion. It's a signal that the fantasy is complete, and George's consciousness can finally let go. It's the moment the loop is sealed. This interpretation suggests that George is perpetually stuck in that perfect Christmas Eve. He's trapped in a loop of his own making, forever reliving the moment his life was validated. It's a wonderful life, but it's not a real one. It's a beautiful, tragic snow globe of a memory, frozen in time. The film becomes a poignant exploration of a man's final thoughts, a testament to his desperate need for meaning and love at the very end. This theory also reframes the film's central conflict. It's not about a man choosing life over death. It's about a man's mind creating a narrative to cope with the reality of his own demise. The true villain isn't Mr. Potter. It's the harsh, unforgiving reality that led George to that bridge in the first place. The film becomes a cautionary tale about the immense pressure society places on good people, and the tragic consequences that can follow. So, does this ruin the movie? I don't think so. In fact, it adds a layer of profound depth and bittersweet beauty. It doesn't take away from the message of hope and community. It just frames it differently. It shows that, even in the darkest of moments, the human spirit strives for light and love. The wonderful life George experiences might be a dream, but it's a dream built from the genuine goodness that was inside him all along. It's a testament to the life he actually lived, even if he couldn't see its value until the very end. Next time you watch It's a Wonderful Life, pay close attention to that ending. Look at the almost dreamlike quality of the final scenes. Is it a miracle, or is it a memory? Is George Bailey surrounded by his real family, or is he alone in the cold, dark water, dreaming of him? The film never gives us a definitive answer, and maybe that's the point. It leaves it up to us to decide what we want to believe. But the possibility that the happy ending is all in his head makes this timeless classic even more powerful and unforgettable. What do you think? Does this theory hold water, or am I just a cynical Mr. Potter? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed digging deeper into your favorite movies, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more theories like this one. Thanks for watching.